Right.
So
but the problem is that 2% could easily be carried away.
Yeah.
In the actual rosin, and that would be what leaves your residue.
Okay. Sure.
It's just a little bit of plant contamination. It's not going to hurt you anyway.
No, and I think it would still
make you cough.
It would still be decent product, and I mean the rosin would still be pretty nice.
Yeah.
I just end up with a little bit of schmutz left up on my nail. That's all. One little ember sits there, right?
Yeah. So how are you making it, Chris? What are you using to make rosin?
Well, I had a guy that came over. He had a big rosin press, and basically what it was is it was a coffee mug press.
Oh yeah,
it's a coffee mug press that they took the two curved ones out and put in two flat plates. So it's got 4 posts, so it goes down perfectly flat. You can get a great big wheel crank down for pressure on the top. So
did he make this himself?
No, you buy it. It was like $900. It's ridiculous.
Oh, ridiculous. I can get you one for $6,500. That's 24 inches by 24 inches, and we'll press a quarter pound at a time.
Well, this thing here for $900 is the plate's only 3x5. Okay, for $900, it's such a tiny plate. It's not much bigger than a couple of flattening irons.
They've got that 5x5 as well, Ross. I saw that one for it's about $800, right?
What's that? Yeah. There is. I think it's a 5x7 or something like that for about 7
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they come in, I think, 4 different sizes. The biggest one is the 24x24. That's $6,500. But what an awesome machine! I want to get one and rent it. Oops.
A Sasquatch.
I want to see somebody do
Sasquatch,
a closed loop system once, though.
Do what?
I'd like to see somebody make the oil in a closed loop system. I've got a buddy of mine that's been trying to get me to really consider looking at it, and it just seems so science lab to me. So
it is science lab. That's why I have a doctor working on building one.
Yeah. You don't have to use a closed loop system, though. If it's shatter or something like that you want to make, you don't actually have to use a closed loop system. It helps to have a pressurized tube, though, like a closed pressurized tube, but not a closed loop. Closed loop system means that you're recovering back the solvent,
right?
Whereas pressurized isn't going to recover,
right?
But closed loop recirculating system, and it just with a very small amount of solvent, it continuously washes over your product. You can use very little solvent to do the same job.
Yeah, because we go through a lot of solvent. We boil that solvent off.
Right.
So a recirculating system uses a smaller amount of solvent.
Yeah.
Runs through, evaporates, is condensed, put back in clean, and done again. The other advantage is you can boil off at lower temperature by adding a bit of vacuum to that tank.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the closed loop systems don't actually recirculate. What they do is recover. Yeah. It's a recovery system that recovers the.
If you do it right, all it is it's a matter of you run through your system for your extraction, and you use your sight glass so that when you finally see that all you're getting is clear liquid through the solvent or with the solvent, then you switch the valve and you recover your extraction solvent back into the original tank.
It's usually a remote tank. Was the ones I've seen anyway.
Right,
and then separate remote tank.
And then once the tank has the solvent back in, you close off the tank, you open up the relief valve, and let the small amount that's left pressurized in the system to off to atmosphere.
Right.
So you're going to lose a little bit, but you're still recovering like 95% of the solvent. And instead of you sitting there...
It's not quite that high. It's about 80% actually.
Yeah, but instead of you sitting there boiling solvent off for an hour, for 4 to 5 hours, this is done the complete system in an hour.
Are you talking about a closed loop system for isopropyl? Is that?
Yep.
Oh, okay. We're talking apples and oranges, and I'm thinking.
Well, no, because
butane.
The butane is the same thing, because you can run the same way. The only difference between a butane one and an isopropyl one is the sealing material.
Well, no, with the butane, there's no need to continuously wash it over. Once it goes through once, it's pretty much all you need. and then you can reclaim it when you get it out the other side. But
Right.
Most of them, I've seen them actually reclaim it, recondense it, put it back in as a liquid, put it down through the plant again.
But that's pointless though. Once you've washed the material once, to wash it a second
people
time.
wash it a second time.
Only to make sure you get everything.
I suppose if you're recovering it, then that's not as big of an issue as if you
Exactly. You're not
were blasting it straight through into a Yeah.
So for the isopropyl, it's just a matter of run it through a few times and then recover it.
I didn't realize you could have, like, I knew there were like reclamation systems that were operated like a alcohol still that recovers your isopropyl, but I didn't realize there was like a closed loop system. Are we talking about the same kind of thing as the closed loop butane system?
Yeah, very similar.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, the device isn't quite the same. I mean, you have picture your product in one container, okay? Your alcohol, and you've got a reservoir underneath it. You pour in your alcohol over top, it runs down, it heats below, evaporates, goes back up and distills above the plant matter, and then runs back through it again.
Okay. All right.
It's a
So
continuous,
it is a distiller, but with a constant return flow.
Right.
Exactly. And
Okay,
then
gotcha.
that till it's clean, and then you stop it, and everything just comes off. So, it distills itself. So,
And because you're using vacuum, it distills it at a much lower temperature for boiling it off.
Right.
To draw it out. So it's basically the cat's meow.
Of course, like, it's a little different with when you're using butane though, because it's such an efficient solvent that it dissolves virtually 98% of the trichomes on the first time through. So return, like a recirculating system with butane, really wouldn't be.
no, it wouldn't. I agree with
Wouldn't
you.
be logical.
On that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but reclaiming your butane and being, getting 80% of it back, you can then, reuse that, which is always awesome and good. Now, when you use the return system or the reclaim system for the isopropyl, do you not get a certain amount of contaminant in the reclamation alcohol? Like you get a little bit of oil and a little bit of plant material or something returned with that, or am I getting that wrong?
Distilled, it's fine.
It's distilled.
Yeah.
It's distilled, and actually you can get an inline filter at the condenser point.
Yeah. And you don't get any water or any condensation that gets
You
mixed
want
in
some
with
water because 99% isopropyl has 1% water.
Right. But you won't get, like, by the heating process, you won't add more water to the reclamation.
But there is
No.
a filter that you do need to put in, and it stops that hard scaling that happens.
Right.
Right.
Okay, that's the thing. That's the only filter that you need that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because distilling is the
From
filtering.
water, isn't it?
Pardon?
Isn't the hard scaling from the water anyway?
Yeah, and the heating
The
action.
distillation?
Yeah, the distillation of it.
Yeah.
Is it done through a tube or does it go to a plate?
See, and I don't know enough
Which-
about it. Like I said, I've got somebody trying to get me to go that way, so I'm just kind of figuring it out myself right now.
Marcel, is there a commercial unit, or like, do you have a link to something that we can look at?
There's no commercial units that you can find right now that use isopropyl because of, again, the sealing materials.
Right.
But we've had offers from individuals that say they can adapt what they have.
Basically a butane system, or?
They can take the butane system and adapt it to do isopropyl.
Oh, that would be interesting.
I
But,
think part of that bigger
but
system.
the problem is you're looking at price tags that start at around $35,000.
Yeah, I know. It's not.
Whoa.
It's not worth it. at
No.
that point.
So what? And I mean, because it's stupid for us to do small volume. If it's less than a pound of plant material, then it's not worth our time to do it.
Right.
Right?
It's not worth anybody's time, Marcel.
No, but I mean, there's people that are turning around and they're making oil out of an ounce.
Yeah, I know.
Right. I mean, I'd have to do that every friggin' day.
It's like the extraction party that I went to a couple of weeks ago. That was fun.
Yeah.
I
mean,
never seen such big bags of pot in my life. Oh my God.
We've done demos on small scale to teach people how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But we would never at home do a batch that small.
Mhm.
Unless somebody give me a quarter pound of keef or something, I'd do that.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Right.
Why not?
That's a small batch, but it would produce a large amount of oil.
Yes. Yes, it does. It do that.
But so what we're looking at is to see if we can build our own at a much lower price. To do it. I mean, it's simple as you need a pressurized system and you need a vacuum system, and luckily you can get the same pumps or a pump that'll do both.
You mean a vacuum pump?
Yeah, but you can also get a vacuum pump that can also do pressure as well.
Right.
Well, that's a reverse vacuum, right?
Yeah. So if you only have to vacuum it,
Well, that's a compressor, basically.
it's a compressor, but it also has a vacuum pump built in.
Okay, so it'll run in reverse, is what you're saying?
Yeah, but you can't take any normal compressor and plug into the inlet and draw a vacuum on something.
Isn't a vacuum just the other side of the compressor?
Right, exactly. That's my point.
Yeah. On these units, one end is the compressor, the other end is the vacuum system.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah. So
you can blow and suck at the same time, huh?
Yeah, like a shop vac.
Yeah. Yeah, good point.
Yeah. So it'll take a little trial and error to perfect it, to get it down to working the way you want it to work, but it's a very viable option.
Sounds like another patent in the works there, Marcel.
I don't know if it's patentable. You never know.
Hey. Well, you just blew it now.
Well, no, not really. I mean,
Why?
because
I'm going to patent it tomorrow.
yeah, well, you better make sure it works before you patent it, because the next patent might be
You
a
don't have to have
model.
a working model. You just have to have drawings.
Yeah, you better hope your drawings are pretty close.
Hey, I can use crayons.
Yeah. Yeah, I did see it now. Man blows himself
Sharpies.
up.
I use Sharpies and crayons. Technical drawings.
Technical drawings.
You need to buy a microbrewery and take some of their equipment.
There you go. Now you're talking. Instead of hops, you throw in a bunch of cannabis and, oh, wow, cannabis beer.
Oh, that's
Okay. I'm sorry I said that out loud, too.
I've seen
you
that.
know
I've
what?
seen cannabis wine.
Actually, a few years ago, we had some people on from Mary Jane's, which was they make Mary Jane's vodka and wine. And I had a white and a red sent to me, and I sat here and drank it on the air.
On the air? Because it only takes 10 or 15 minutes to hit you, right, Al?
Oh, God, no, it's faster than that. I don't drink.
How did it taste?
You know what? I enjoyed the red. I didn't like the white.
Okay.
Did they taste green? Do you know what I mean? Did
No.
it have that? No.
Not chlorophyll-y? No?
I don't know how the process is done, or if there's cannabinoids in them, if it's just, I have no idea. I don't remember, I should say. But if you look through old shows, look for the one that says Mary Jane's on it. That's the one I'm talking about.
Okay.
Look through the thousands in the archive.
Well, there's not that many.
Hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands.
No, there's a couple hundred at least.
A pretty good library, though.
Oh, yeah, there's a pretty good library. Some are crap, some aren't. Some are really crap. Some you will never hear again.
Some we're removing tomorrow.
Like maybe this one.
Maybe this one, yeah.
Hey, it's almost time to go.
It is.
It
Wow,
is.
that went by fast.
Ross, why don't you tell everybody where your website is?
What?
Time to bid you one and all. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Farewell.
Oh, God.
Remember Simon and Schuster?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, you
Yo.
wanted to mention something before we go.
Island Therapeutics is having a great big event coming up in PEI. It's a Confederation celebration, and that's what day is that, Marcel? Right up top.
8th of October, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. They're having it at a resort down there. You can find the event on Facebook. Check it out. Call Craig Gaudette. Tell him you want to.
It's pronounced Goody.
Goody? Okay.
Goody.
Come on up and check it out. First big event like this to be happening on Prince Edward Island, and excited about having a lot of people show up.
And next week we have the folks from 420 Canada on.
Right.
Okay. Cool.
Is that the Friday after Lift?
Yes.
That's not. Yep.
Lift is this weekend.
Yep.
Okay,
Lift is
yep,
this
then
week.
that's when
Yeah.
they're going,
Speaking of that, Lift is this weekend, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
Lift
is.
is this weekend.
Yeah.
In Vancouver.
And the other thing that's happening is Maritimers Unite for Medical Marijuana is going to be attending and having a table set up at the Health and Wellness Expos, one in Moncton and one here in Halifax, coming up on October 22nd and 3rd and November 5th and 6th, respectively. And it's always a great time because you get a bunch of people that don't. We usually spend our time preaching to the choir, so it's nice to stick yourself in a place where you're going to get the naysayers and you get to have some engaging conversation and maybe change a mind or two.
And we'll be doing presentations both days at both events. Basically explaining the new rules and regulations and how you can apply for your own legal access to grow your own cannabis.
Good.
Or purchase it. So what we're going to do is we've got 30-minute time slots, one each day. So we're just going to repeat the same thing in all 4 locations. And I think Chris might be doing the ones in Halifax.
Doing what?
I forgot to tell you that. But I was thinking that since you are the other half of the educational component for Mom, that maybe you just copy what we do in Moncton and you do it in Halifax.
Okay.
You don't mind public speaking, dude.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, okay.
Discuss that further. No, but I like to see lots of people come out. It's interesting, and it's always fun to, like I said, to talk to the people that normally aren't ready to talk to us.
Yeah, we've done the Health and Wellness Expo before, and we did
Seniors Expo is the most fun.
Expo, and that was hilarious. But you know the most common question we get from these expos, from people off the street, is, do you have any samples? Because they would all love to take samples home, I'm sure.
That's funny because that's the same question I ask a lot of my customers.
Do you have any samples? Sure, why not?
Yeah, and you wouldn't believe how many we get.
Would you ask a garbage man if he had samples?
No.
On that
Because they
note,
usually do have samples.
it's time to go.
Yeah, it is.
We got some
We've
Bobby
bored
Fricks.
these 4 people long enough.
This is the 420 radio show. Thank you very much, Deborah, for joining us for this nastiness of a show.
Happy birthday, April.
Yes, happy birthday, April. And Ross.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we have to talk about these unauthorized things.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I know it's the profiteer in me just wants to promote.
Promote.
Plug.
Bend over. Plug.
Like the hair club.
That's right.
On that note, we're out of here. We'll be here next week, Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here. Later.
Hair plugs. We're out of here. What?
Goodbye. Thank you
Night.
for having me.
You're welcome,
Oh,
Dad.
thanks, Dad.
Anytime.
I can't smoke pot, hell, I can't even wear my earring. Sick and tired of people telling me what I can and cannot do. Guess I'll just pack up my guitar and move to Music City. Starve to death like most starving artists do. I can smoke all the pot that I want in my old 420 local. If I want, I can even wear an earring in my nose. No longer matters how I vote, or even if I want to. No longer matters how I wear my hair or my clothes.
Don't hog that, man. Pass it on. I ain't dead. Give me that. You won't even talk about it. Hurry it up. Hey, hand it over. Don't hog it. You need to stand by what you're doing. Where is it? Heck yeah, pass it.
I can smoke all the pot that I want in my old 420 local.
Willie Nelson will kick your ass for smoking that much.
If I want, I can even wear an earring in my nose.
Don't bogart. Pass it on. Pass it on.
No longer matters how I vote, or even if I want to. No longer matters how I wear my hair or my clothes. No longer matters how I vote, or even if I want to. No longer matters how I wear my hair or my clothes.
You like music, you like weed, well, we gonna be good friends indeed. This is how much I like more than smoking trees. They'll make you dance the do-si-do and teach you how the chiva grows. Smoke a bowl on the 420 radio show. On Lifestyle Radio.
So what are you doing? Nothing. Nothing? Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organization.